Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. As you can tell, I'm not in my office. Once in a while, you just got to get outdoors, right? And even though it's a little cool and breezy today, we are coming into our summer months, so I'm sure we'll all be doing more and more outdoor activities, enjoying ourselves, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I want to talk to you about something today that was on my mind recently that hopefully you might find interesting and or beneficial. Let me start with, you've probably heard the phrase, you just can't get good help anymore. What is it we're usually talking about there? I guess it would be like if somebody's an employer trying to find a good, dependable employee. It's hard to find those kinds of employees nowadays. It's a shame, but it seems to be a trend, even when businesses are really looking for workers that they just can't find the true quality employee that they really want to be able to have and depend upon. Well, that's a pretty narrow context of can't find good help. How about you in your life? Where do you get your help? Perhaps you might be able to say just about your own personal experience in life, I can't find good help. Well, why is that? And of course, perhaps we're looking in the wrong places. Let me talk to you just a little bit about a few ways in which we look for help that we can ultimately kind of be dissatisfied and be let down, okay? And some of these you'll readily agree with, and some you go, oh, I don't know. Well, okay, let's think about it. So let's start with the ever popular, what about our government, our politicians? Can you find good help with them? We've had, all of us, or most of us, I guess, have had the experience now in the last 5 years, I would say, of actually going out in the mail and finding a check from the government, whether it's from the state of California or from the United States government, out of the blue, for whatever reason. It's like, oh man, no, this is help. Well, how long did that last? Let me ask you, right? And when you examine it, a lot of the times it's not that it truly does people lasting benefit, but it's done for political reasons. But perhaps you're saying, okay, I'm used to getting this check, so now where's the next one coming? I need that next, $500,000, $1,500 check or whatever it may be. And you get let down. Oh man, it's not coming anymore? I was starting to depend upon that. Why? Because you're depending upon the wrong thing or the wrong entity. Let me tell you something. I don't care whether you're left of center or right of center or right smack dab in the middle of center in a politically, in a political sense. You are not going to find the help that you truly need in any one political party, because those political parties will let you down sooner or later. And in fact, I believe that they are, at their core, they're all about self-interest, as is the same with so many other. Believe me, I've worked in a private sector without union representation, and I've worked with union representation, and there's not a whole lot of difference. Companies are out for themselves, and unions are out for themselves. Now, that's my personal opinion. You may disagree with it, but be that what it may. Okay, so if we're in an ultimate sense agree that we're not going to get our help from government or from politicians, where else? Well, what about the experts? We're surrounded by experts, right? Economic experts, healthcare experts, science experts. And what do we hear from these people? There is no agreement. We were told by experts that if we did X, Y, and Z when the pandemic first hit, that we'd be over this thing in a matter of, months. And yet nothing seemed to make the great difference. And then the story changed. Well, if you do this or that, it didn't really mean that you're not going to get the virus. It meant that it's going to be not as bad. Well, that's not what they said at first. But anyway, I digress once again. Maybe I'm delving too much in hot topic here where there's so much difference of opinion, and we all have our opinion. But the one thing is that I know that I cannot absolutely depend upon help in my life from the experts, quote unquote, whether they be economic or science or healthcare or whatever, because guess what? Things change. Medical textbooks have to be updated because what we used to think was true is not true anymore. Or there are some truths out there that we never knew about before. And the same goes with science. And so we can't put all of our eggs in that basket of the experts. No, we're not going to find our help from them. Let's get closer to home. What about our friends? I hope that you do have friends. And I'm not saying that your friends don't give you help, because they certainly do. I have friends that have given me great, great help in my life, and I'm truly appreciative of that. So I'm not denigrating that at all. Friends are important. But I also know that both from friends and as a friend to others, myself, sometimes we let each other down. Sometimes we're not quite there when we are needed. Friends can let you down. That's just a real possibility. Except one. And I'll talk about that in a minute. There's one friend that won't. Okay? Let's get even closer to home. What about your family? That could even be worse. You know the old adage, you choose your friends but not your family? Maybe your family is one of those families that has a crazy cousin or a silly uncle or whatever, and you go, oh man, they show up for family reunions and we go, what's going to happen this year? Whatever. Our families are all dysfunctional to some degree. I've said that many times. And so even though we love our families, sometimes it is our family members that hurt us the most, because we're supposed to be able to depend upon them, and sometimes we don't come through for each other, even in the family unit. Man, I'm running out of things, right? So where do we get our help? You know where I'm going with this. Listen to what David said in his psalm. This is the 121st Psalm. Listen to this. I will lift my eyes toward the mountains. Where will my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He will not allow your foot to slip. Your protector will not slumber. Indeed, the protector of Israel does not slumber or sleep. The Lord protects you. The Lord is a shelter right by your side. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will protect you from all harm. He will protect your life. The Lord will protect your coming and going, both now and forever. There. You can't get good help. Real help comes from the Lord. You can't get good help from your friends. Jesus says, I am your friend. You can't get good help from your family. Scripture tells us that Jesus is our elder brother, and that we are all part of the family of God if we have believed in him with a true heart. Can't get good help? What do you think? David says, I lift my eyes to the mountains. Don't have a mountain in the background, but we have some nice scenery. Where do we find our help? The help comes from the Lord, and he never, ever lets us down. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute. I've gone through some terrible struggles. Where was the Lord then? He was right with you. He doesn't guarantee that we won't have challenges and struggles in life. He guarantees you the most important stuff, and that is eternal security, eternal rewards, and a chance to, as we think about and stay focused on those things that he ultimately is going to give us in the future, we can make the here and now something special, because we know this is just a short period of time. And even though I struggle, like everybody struggles, right? I am going to make it through, because God is my helper. He's with me now and forevermore. He loves me and he takes care of me. Sometimes he chastises me. It's all for my good. Think about it. Where does your help in life come from? God bless you. We'll see you next time.